And talking about the control, now I saw you on the RAN, you and Alexa had a program about this EU Commission.
Yeah.
They sent I guess, a note to Elon Musk before his interview with Donald Trump, basically warn him, okay, no disinformation, no, violence,
Yeah.
whatever. The interview didn't take place yet, but they already
Yeah.
warned him. Well, my question is what is this is from the EU, right? Not even
Yeah.
from the United States. It's none of the EU's business what's going on here. What are they afraid of about this
Well,
interview?
well, they are afraid of Donald Trump being elected because the EU doesn't like Donald Trump. I mean, they're very nervous about Donald Trump for all kinds of reasons. And I'm not just Donald Trump the person, but Donald Trump, the mythological cartoon character that they've created, who, embodies or represents something that they imagine that he's going to do. I mean, I've never understood most of the hysteria about Donald Trump myself. But anyway, this is partly what this is all about. As I said, it's trying to control Donald Trump. And I'm going to say something. The EU, I am pretty sure they were put up to do this by the Democrats in the United States. The Democrats almost certainly call them, tell them, look, our lawfare against Donald Trump isn't succeeding. He's still out there. He's still polling numbers are still pretty strong. We haven't been able to quite bring him down to earth yet. He's now going to give this interview to Elon Musk. Yes, we've arranged a massive DOS attack on it to try and stop people watching it, but people will eventually watch it. So can you please threaten Twitter X, which might eventually circulate this? Can you bring all these kind of information controls? And Thierry Breton, who is a terrible censor and somebody who wants to control everything anyway, he obliged by writing one of the most outrageous and menacing and threatening letters I've ever seen. I mean, it drips with menace. Actually, it's really awful. And then the whole thing fell apart because Elon Musk published the letter on Twitter X. We did a program about it on the Duran, but that was a minor thing. I mean, far too many people saw it. There was much too much commentary. So the EU Commission is now retreating. They say, oh no, it was all a mistake. He acted all by himself. He went rogue. I don't believe that. But anyway, that's what they're trying to say now. It's very much, again, coming back to what we were saying before, it's very, very much part of the climate, the political climate that we have today.
Yeah, and Donald Trump was the president for 4 years, and I mean, he's not that horrible. I mean, he's no different.
No.
I don't say he's a good president,
No.
achieve much, but he's not as threatening as they thought he would. So what more can happen this time? I don't quite got it. The Guardian had an article from an ex-Twitter boss, Bruce Daisley, calling for arrest of Elon Musk.
Yes.
That Elon Musk need to be arrested. I find it just mind-boggling that people are so obsessed with this whole thing.
I completely agree. I mean, I read an article about 2 weeks ago by a very famous journalist in Britain called Gideon Rachman in the Financial Times, talking about Donald Trump. This was shortly after the assassination, by the way, and it's just incredible to read. I mean, he was talking about Trump the dictator, Trump the tyrant, Trump the betrayer. I mean, it's one thing like that after another. And, I was waiting to see what Trump has done that Gideon Rachman thinks justifies using this kind of language about him. And of course, there's nothing like that. I mean, he has different ideas about policy. Yeah. But tyrant, dictator, betrayer. I mean, it's traitor. I mean, it's all. It is very deranged. Yeah. It is very, very mad. Now, I don't know whether you've heard of him, but there's this very celebrated American law professor, Jonathan Turley, and He's a major defender of free speech and is very, very concerned about all of the various things we've just been talking about. He's a professor at George Washington University, and he's also a very, very brilliant practicing lawyer and a very decent and good man. Anyway, he's written this book about, the dangers to free speech in what he calls the age of rage. I don't think we're living through the age of rage. I think we're living through the age of hysteria because this is all hysterical. I mean, a couple of hundred young people riot in England. It's, as I
Mhm.
said, absolutely standard in England in August. We have, Tulsi Gabbard saying a few things about Kamala Harris, which some people don't like, which is absolutely standard in elections. We have Donald Trump. I mean, the whole thing is completely out of proportion. It's crazy. Donald Trump gives an interview to Elon Musk. Some people are saying that Elon Musk should be arrested. I mean, the whole thing is, as off the scale. It's crazy.
And there's not a whole lot. I don't know, did you listen to the interview? It was 2 hours long. And I tried to listen to it last night from the beginning to end. I didn't pay close attention. I just let it
Yeah.
running, at the I didn't hear anything that is stand out. What is your take
Yeah.
on that? Anything
Well,
new?
well, there was nothing very new, actually. I mean, a lot of things that he said, which are fairly sensible. But I think the single thing about that interview, which I think is alarming for all the people we're talking about, is that, Trump, when you see him and you hear him, well, he's a human being. I mean, he's not this, demonic figure that we're all led to think he is. I mean, he talks, quite, sensibly sometimes not so sensibly, but he, talks and he sounds normal. He sounds human. And I think this is something that they simply can't come to terms with. I mean, they're frightened of because
Yeah.
it's so completely contrary to the sort of image of Trump that they're trying to create.
I, probably going back to the control. It just still they want to control everything, and they
Absolutely.
feel like a Trump is a person they cannot easily control. Probably that's still what it is. They're afraid of that part. And
I think that is right, but I think
uh-huh.
also again they've. I mean, it is a sense of control, but I think also that somewhere along the line, a real hatred of Donald Trump seems to have entered into the system,
Mm-hmm.
and it is driving everything. I
Yeah.
mean, like the FBI director, no less, contradicting the FBI itself, the organization that he heads, by saying that it wasn't a bullet, or might not have been a bullet that pierced Trump's ear when everybody knows that it was, and the FBI itself says that it was. I mean, why did he even need to do that?
Yeah.
Obviously, because he's become utterly fixated with Trump. Yeah, as I said, it's very bad, and hatred and obsession is incredibly dangerous thing. It leads to all sorts of incredibly dangerous outcomes. And America, of course, has written the great book about obsession, which is Moby Dick, about this, captain who wants to kill a whale.
But
And he kills himself and all his crew because
mhm.
he's, obsessed with this
That's it. Mhm.
monotrack, single-minded thing.
Yeah, and I mean now there seems their hatreds towards Trump spill over to Elon Musk now. That
Yeah,
that
yeah,
seems, and
absolutely.
yeah, but Musk now invited Kamala Harris for an interview.
Yeah.
They called they called him, the Harris camp called Elon Musk a lackey of the Team MAGA. So we'll see if she will, like
Of
you
course she
said, that
won't.
she,
She's not going
yeah,
to give an interview to Elon Musk. I mean, quite a lot. She doesn't want to. I mean, she doesn't want X to be, to become even still more popular. But she doesn't want to give an interview. She wants to give
yeah.
the only kind of interviews she will have are with people who the Democrats control.
just just like I don't know if you remember when Barack Obama was running
Mm.
the
Mm,
they were giving him very friendly interview
yeah.
to the degree that there were some Hillary Clinton supporter can't even stand it. So on Saturday Night Live, I don't know if you remember, they have one
Mm,
episode. They marked this interview. So somebody, the pretended, reporter
yeah.
interviewed Barack Obama. Can you tell me how brilliant you are?
Yes, I know.
that kind of interview.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
They're going to, yeah. That's also, I find it also very odd that Kamala Harris, ever since he became the presumptive candidate for the Democratic Party,
Yeah.
she hasn't given any interview. Yeah,
Yes.
yes, I find that's remarkable. My take is that she's afraid of all the questions, and some even slightly challenging questions she might not be able.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And I also get the sense that her minders sense that if she appears on television, she doesn't come across very well to
uh-huh.
many people. Maybe
Yeah,
unfairly, by the way. I mean, it's sometimes people don't come across well on television, and you
mm,
discover that they're not actually as bad as they seem. But whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because other than she's laughing all the time, even for things that kind of like odd. That seems like
Yeah.
her character, right?
Yeah.
Her Yeah, it will be see. I mean, I agree. I don't think she will agree to it, but that
Yeah.
will make her look bad because Musk interview, ask her, invite
Yeah.
her, and she
Yes.
cannot come. Yeah.
Well, I know, but of course, they'll pretend that they'll spin it in some way that that she's not going to expose herself to an interview by this MAGA supporting tech billionaire or something of that
Yeah.
kind. I mean, that'll be what they will say.
Yeah.